can you be sleeping with your cousin? I thought you're related to all.
This thing called marriage, part 17. It all became a reality on the mornings Esther woke before the sun. Every dawn, as she swept the compound with tired arms, she would find David and his cousin seated in front of the hut, talking softly, laughing freely, sometimes leaning too close, sometimes brushing against each other in ways that made Esther pause mid-sweep. She said nothing. She carried water alone from the stream. She cooked every meal alone. She cleaned, served, and smiled. As soon as the food was ready, Precious would be the first to sit and eat, without waiting, without asking. At first, Esther told herself, she is my husband's family. I should be patient. But patience began to feel like silence choking her slowly. Then the nights changed. David stopped being present. Each night, they would go to bed together, but Esther would wake up to an empty space beside her. Her heart would race. She would sit up and call his name softly. David. Moments later, he would rush in from outside. I went to pee, he would say casually. Just a few minutes. But the pattern never stopped. Some nights, when Esther asked too many times, his voice would turn sharp. Why are you behaving as if you're obsessed with me? I am your husband, not the air you breathe. Can't you just sleep and rest without causing trouble? The words cut deep. Still, Esther would apologize even when she had done nothing wrong, just to keep peace in the house. But peace never came. David did not change. He did not stop. And Esther grew quieter. Then came that night. That fateful night. Esther woke again, and David was gone. This time, she did not call out. She did not panic. Her heart beat steadily, strangely calm, as if it already knew what her mind had been avoiding. She rose quietly from the mat, wrapped her cloth around her chest, and gently opened the hut door. The night was silent. No footsteps. No movement. She walked slowly, carefully, toward Precious's room. Her hands trembled as she reached the door. She pushed it open. And then, the unspeakable happened. What Esther saw froze her entire body. Her breath caught in her throat. Her knees weakened. Her world collapsed in a single moment. What stood before her shattered every excuse, every lie, every false smile she had swallowed since the day she said yes. The truth stared back at her, naked, undeniable, and cruel. And in that moment, Esther understood something terrifying. She was never just a wife. She was never truly chosen. She had been convenient. She stood there, unable to scream, unable to move, as the weight of betrayal pressed into her bones. And the night washed her silently. To be continued.
Day, I will make sure you suffer, David!
This thing called marriage, part 18. It all happened that fateful night. Esther woke up again and discovered that David was nowhere to be found. This time, she did not call out his name. She did not panic. She did not rush. Quietly, almost instinctively, she rose from the mat, wrapped her cloth tightly around her chest, and tiptoed out of the hut. Her heart beat loudly in her ears, but her feet moved with purpose. Something within her whispered, "Check Precious's hut." She listened. As she got closer to the door, she heard David's voice inside. Her heart sank. Without knocking, Esther pushed the door open and rushed in. The sight before her stopped time. David was on Precious's bed. As soon as he saw Esther, he jumped up in panic, scrambling away from the mat. "Esther, I. He stammered, his voice shaking. "I only came to help her with the baby," he rushed to explain. The child was running a temperature, she was crying all night. Esther stood frozen. She said nothing. Her eyes had already taken in everything, the closeness, the position of their bodies, the way they look startled, not innocent. Without a word, Esther turned and walked back to her hut. She sat on the edge of the bed, staring into space. But what I saw was different, she thought. I saw them cuddling. Why would David cuddle his own cousin? That's impossible. Maybe I got it wrong, maybe it wasn't what I thought. Her heart searched desperately for excuses. Back in Precious's hut, David spoke in a low, urgent voice. Make sure you answer her exactly the way I told you, he warned. Don't panic. I've got everything under control. Then he hurried back to Esther's hut. My love, he said softly, forcing a smile. The baby has gone back to sleep now. Can we sleep? Esther hesitated. She wanted to speak. She wanted to cry. She wanted to ask questions. But her love for David, and the fear of being left alone again, silenced her. She nodded. As they lay down, Esther tried to talk, but David interrupted sharply. Aren't you satisfied yet? I already told you Precious needed help. She's my sister, my blood. What exactly are you thinking, Esther? I hope you're not starting that your usual overthinking again. His words crushed her. Sad and helpless, Esther forced a smile. No problem, she said quietly. They slept, but Esther's heart did not rest. The next morning, Esther was outside cooking when Auntie Maggie came visiting again. Esther smiled when she saw her, but behind that smile, Maggie could see the pain. Esther, you don't look as cheerful as you used to be, Maggie said gently. What's wrong? How is your new husband treating you? Esther tried to hide it, but she couldn't. Auntie Maggie, she began, her voice trembling, I feel like a stranger in my own house. She paused, then continued. David and his cousin, they are doing many things I can't understand. Maggie's eyes narrowed. What cousin? She asked sharply. You mean David moved in with another woman into your house? Yes, Esther replied. He came with his cousin who has a daughter. And since they moved in, I haven't had peace. David doesn't sit with me anymore. All he does is stay with Precious, laughing and talking. She does nothing in the house, Esther added softly. She waits until I finish cooking, eats, and sleeps. Then Esther's voice dropped. But that's not even the worst. Almost every night, David disappears from our room. One night I followed him, and I found him cuddling Precious in her hut. He denied it, Esther said quickly. He said the baby was sick. But Auntie, I'm not satisfied. Something is wrong. Maggie shouted, No, Esther. Tell me it's a lie. She shook her head firmly. That girl is not your husband's cousin. Trust me. I know men. Something is seriously wrong here. Maggie held Esther's hands. All I can tell you is this, open your eyes. Watch them closely. Stop cooking for Precious, you are not her slave. This is your house. Sit up and be the madam you are. Esther nodded slowly. I will make inquiries about David, Maggie added. I'll be back. That night, Esther did not sleep. Maggie's words echoed in her heart. By morning, something inside her heart shifted. She woke up, walked straight to Precious's hut, and called out firmly. Precious. No response. Precious, she called again. Finally, Precious stepped out sluggishly. What is it? She snapped. Why are you calling my name like that? Esther stood tall. Precious, she said calmly, I am your elder brother's wife. You will give me the respect I deserve. This is my house. Precious scoffed, but Esther continued. Your holiday here is over. From today onward, you will help with the chores, fetching water, sweeping, and cleaning. I will do the cooking. Silence followed. When Esther finished speaking, She turned and walked away, her back straight, her steps firm. For the first time since her marriage to David, Esther felt something unfamiliar. Confidence. Power. Decision. She did not know what awaited her next. But one thing was certain. She had finally started choosing herself. To be continued.